Welcome to PB Link Stories. We explore the stories and uncover the business secrets of some of Britain's most successful entrepreneurs.
Cristina Irimie is indefatigable. She came to the UK from Romania 21 years ago as a young woman, and it looks like she's not had time to unpack her suitcase yet. She's founder and editor-in-chief of Romani in UK newsletter, targeting over 50,000 subscribers with editorials, interviews. She's an active campaigner at the highest levels for the rights of Romanian and other EU migrants in the UK, a well-known face at European parliaments, UK parliaments, holding senior government ministers to account. She's founder of Happy People Learning Centre, which specialises in providing health and safety training courses for Central and Eastern European construction tradesmen in the UK. The only centre in the UK approved to deliver the GQA CSCS Labourer Card 100% online. She also founded and runs HPL Recruitment, which places Eastern Central European people into construction work in the UK. As if that wasn't enough, Cristina also owns a small business delivering translations, advice and accountancy services for Romanians living in the UK, and a restaurant in her home county of Sebeș in Romania. Despite her extremely busy schedule, she's agreed to speak to us today. Cristina, it's a great pleasure to have you on the PB Link Stories podcast. Thank you for coming on and welcome.
Thank you for having me, Bill. It's an honor to be with you.
Well, it's amazing. I have so many questions to ask you, but very little time. So we're going to dive straight in. Cristina, would you like to tell us a bit about yourself and your businesses?
Yes. There's various ventures that I've tried along the years, and I think looking back, that I see myself as an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. And as entrepreneurs usually are, you try a few times until you get to succeed in a field of activity. It's an honor to have found the right people and the right clients to actually put my creativity and my ideas together and make a success of some of them. It's been an interesting journey, and I think looking back, I thank the UK very much because it's the country where I came initially to study as a scholar, and it gave me the opportunities to believe in myself and to start in businesses at a very young age.
Yeah. So you arrived in the UK for the first time, I believe, 21 years ago.
Yes, I was 16.
16. I wasn't going to ask Cristina. I was just going to say that you were very young. And you went to school in Tiverton, Blundell's school. Now, what's interesting for me is 1999 was a good bit before Romania joined the EU, which was 2007, 2008 or 2006?
Yes, anyway. 2007.
So you're a trailblazer. Of course, we've had a lot of Romanians coming to live and work among us since they joined the EU. But when you came, when you were a young woman, a girl, you'd have been very much in a minority. How did you find that experience?
It was a tough experience, to be honest, because I landed in a private boarding school when I was 16. And I had no understanding whatsoever of, different classes in Britain and what private education means. So I was just seen as this girl coming from an ex-communist country, and all people could relate to was the communism regime and orphan children. So that's the start of my advocacy for the country I come from. And probably because it came with some pain along, It was me having to defend the country I come from and tell people that they should treat me as equal, looking at results rather than a place on a map.
Yeah, my goodness. Yeah, that must have been very hard. That's a large burden to put on the shoulders of a young woman at that age. My goodness.
Yes, and especially because I come from a family who invested in our education, and we were very important. So I would say a middle class family in Romania. And then when I came here, I realized that, looking at the standards of my ex-school colleagues, we would have been seen as being poor. So
Okay.
it was a fast forward maturity process I actually went through.
No, so a lot of catching up to do. Did you have a decent standard of English to help you before you arrived?
Yes, I actually applied for a Soros scholarship. It was a 1-year scholarship to come to study. So English was the first criteria. I think we were, so from the whole country, we were about 3,000 applicants for 7 scholarships in the UK.
3,000 applicants for 7 scholarships. Oh, well done. Fantastic. That's a great achievement. Good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So that was the start, and I came and I completed the first year. Then the school offered me another scholarship to complete my A-levels, and then life changed because I was meant to study at a prestigious university. But there were no scholarships at that stage for Romanian individuals. There were only scholarships awarded by universities at the PhD level. So I found no way of financing my university degree. I was admitted to all the universities I applied, including Oxford University, but I couldn't find a scholarship, so I had to let go.
Oh, wow,
I did not want to go back home, because I would have had to taken my baccalaureate back home yet again, restudying what I studied in Romania, as A-levels were not, I couldn't use my A-levels to apply directly to university.
Yeah, not recognized, right.
So I actually extended my student visa for what it used to be called a business visa in 2001, and I moved to London. So from a private boarding school in Devon, I landed in one of the worst areas in London to live in.
Oh boy, okay.
Yes, and then I had to work so that I could support myself. I saw this as a temporary measure, because I kept on thinking somehow I'm going to find a way to sponsor my studies. I started working in a housekeeping department in a hotel as a supervisor, and that was just based on the fact that I knew English, and there were a lot of Romanians working there who didn't.
Right.
And I worked there and tried for months and months to get at least an office job, which I never managed to get because I was on a self-employed visa, you see. So the self-employed visa actually made me become an entrepreneur, because I kept on saying to myself, surely there needs to be a way. I started to offer various services as a translator, interpreter. I remember I worked with the HMRC translating for Romanians, and it was almost as the authorities helped me, or I found people who mentored me, so that I learned even how to do tax returns and how to do bookkeeping. So the system was friendly.
Okay, wow.
And then because also of that experience in working in the hotel, in the housekeeping department, I saw a lot of wrongdoing by the agencies. I was working through an agency as well. And I kept on thinking there must be another way. So in time, together with a colleague of mine, we set up our own contract cleaning in hotels, and I ran that company for a few years. So that was the first business, and the translations business, in time developed. And when I started looking at how how I can talk on behalf of Romanians in the UK. It was after I attended quite a few events at the Romanian embassy, and I realized that at that stage, and we're looking back at 2004, only professional Romanians living in the UK would engage with the authorities, and nobody really talked about issues. And it was quite difficult to put on the table, issues and stories of migrants. There used to be a lot of Romanians who would be here without a visa, without a valid visa. So they were undesirable.
Yep.
And I took it on me really to raise their voice and to make their voice raised. And I think why I had success and the story was heard really was because I did it without having any interest whatsoever. So I just thought that those people need a voice. And at least somebody needs to be aware of their issues.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it was at the moment, the fact that what I used to write went to people's hearts. So that's how the story expanded.
Well, that's right, because then I've been following a little bit of your campaigning history. And I noticed, as I mentioned in the introduction there, you really now, you started there 2004 in the embassy, you noticed some things were wrong, you started speaking out, and your voice has become heard more and more, and your presence has become more and more noticeable. I've seen interviews between you and UK immigration ministers. You're in the EU Parliament. And I noticed specifically when, in 2007 it was, as you said, when Romania joined the EU, Romanians in the UK were only allowed to do a limited number of jobs in the UK. This was a surprise to me when I researched this, because, of course, Polish people had joined in 2004 previously, unrestricted access to the job market. Romanians and Bulgarians had restrictions put upon them. And I suppose that was something to do with Nigel Farage and these people who gave these predictions were going to be overrun by millions and millions of people from the EU accession states. Anyway, you campaigned for Romanians to be given the same rights as other members in the EU. And I mean, you're still doing it through Romanian UK. You're still campaigning. You're still making the voice of the Romanian community heard. How do you find that? Are you exhausted yet? Because I know campaigning must really take a massive amount of energy to keep coming back from disappointment and trying again.
It's I haven't been so active, to be honest, in the past 2 years, because business took a lot of effort to put together, and so there are disappointments, and you really need to be to keep going, because there comes a time when you're appreciated by maybe the UK government and officials and other communities, but you're not appreciated so much by your own community. And so I've seen a lot of in the past few years there were quite a few people who started trying to copy what I've done, and I thought I maybe it's the time to let others take the place, and maybe there's different periods in our life. But what I do find even in the activity we carry on now with Happy People Learning Center is that in a way my own life stories inspires people. And that's where I find the force to go on. If I know that, and now I really see, and I had quite a lot of examples last year with children of immigrants who moved to the UK maybe when they were, in the teenage years, so in between 10 to 12. Their family live in various boroughs of London, and they were never given too many choices on the education they can get and where they can land in life. So they sort of fall in the footsteps of their parents and think if you get a laborer job in construction and you start working in construction when you're 16, that's life. What else could you do?
Right.
So that I would like to carry on and continue, and I take it out a little bit of the Romanian context because it's a migrant story which actually repeats, even if you come from various other countries. And I think it's a great honor to be able to inspire young people and help them build their dreams, because really there are so many opportunities which shouldn't be lost.
Absolutely. And in fact, there's the English saying about talking the talk and walking the walk. So you've done a lot of talking about the Romanian community, but you're actually offering concrete solutions and concrete help through HPL Learning Centre, through Happy People Learning Centre, through HPL Recruitment. And I read that Romanians are now the second biggest non-British population in the UK, behind the Polish community.
Yes.
And a massive percentage of the workforce on London construction sites are Romanians. Of course, that's where your businesses come in to train Romanian people and other Eastern Europeans and to place them on building sites. So perhaps this is just the time to hand over the campaigning to someone else, because you're delivering concrete solutions. So your companies, HPL Recruitment and Happy People Learning Centre, are revolutionary. We mentioned you're the only centre in the UK where you can get the CSCS Labourer Card 100% online. And I believe you have a system to help people with English as a second language to properly understand the training without translating any of it.
We're not allowed to use various languages because the training needs to be delivered and they need to engage in English.
Okay.
But we've developed and redeveloped the courses we run so that we use a lot of interactive activities and videos to make learners from a foreign language feel much more comfortable in their learning experience. And we've had actually, an overwhelming good passing rate because of that.
That's great.
With the online service we offer, it is revolutionary. I think we're actually at the point of disrupting a market. So sometimes
nothing better than being a disruptor.
Yes, but it comes with its challenges as well. Happy to take them though, because I understand that, to change systems, you're not liked at first. People tend to feel comfortable with the old way of doing things.
Sure. Yeah. It takes a long time to learn something and think, that's it. I don't want to go and learn a new thing that someone else has invented. Yeah.
Yes.
So what effects has coronavirus and Brexit had on your business with HPL and Happy People?
It's a mixture we've seen because coronavirus actually gave us the opportunity to launch this revolutionary system. Right. If it wasn't for the first lockdown, I think we wouldn't have been taken seriously enough by the awarding body. So we used the first lockdown as an opportunity to get accredited for this service. I researched and worked to develop this system of work for 1 year. I take the first lockdown as a positive aspect because it pushed us. So it's that horrible moment when you need to change something and then you make it just because there's no other option. When things are running normal, we tend to be slower with what we change because we have a model in business and it works, and then you keep on carrying on what you were doing. Brexit hasn't yet shown its effects. Right. Because due to the large unemployment in the UK and to many sectors of the economy being still closed, we've seen a lot of people changing career temporarily, so they go into construction. Okay. So that offered us another, a pipeline of candidates that compensates in the way the fact that we don't have any new arrivals to the UK who would like to make an entry. Recruitment-wise, we've actually we're at the stage of completing a project now in central London, and I think recruitment will be okay for us. But we already see from potential clients that they're lacking workforce and they're lacking access to skilled workers. Probably by the time that's going to be put in statistics, it will take some time. So I reckon only after April, the UK is going to show the first signs of lacking already workers from the EU.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't think the UK and small businesses are ready for employing under the new Home Office.
Yeah, the points-based immigration system, isn't it?
Yes.
I read that there's some difficulties with the Tier 2 skilled work visa, or what we used to call Tier 2,
yes.
that it allows a lot of trades in construction, but there are certain gaps. So like dry liners, I think that's what I would call someone who puts up plasterboard, dry liners, labourers and other trades that are crucial. So hopefully these are things we can get ironed out because there's a massive shortage of accommodation across the entire UK, so we need people to build them. I mean, I'm not in construction, but I can see that. Yeah. So so construction sites are remaining open, I believe. I'm up in Scotland
yes, they are.
But down in London, you're still. Yeah.
Yes, they're open, and we've had quite a lot of activity on the construction sites, because we actually offer NVQs as well, so we need to gather the evidence of workers at their workplace.
I see. And you're actually operating not just in London, but construction.
No, we operate. Yes, we operate across the UK because we can carry out various visits remotely. But in London, when there's clients wanting the option of us visiting sites, then we do, and we use it as well for a business development exercise.
Oh, excellent. All very interesting stuff. So we now move to the question that we've been waiting for all the way through this interview. Cristina, what is the secret of business?
The secret of business is, for me personally, to have the courage of seeking to bring changes to society, generally speaking, by putting together a service which you can provide that can actually make a difference to other people. And if you are good enough at what you do, perseverant, and you don't lose faith, then I think you will break the ice and make it.
Fantastic. The courage to make a change, the courage to make a difference, and perseverance. Perseverance, exactly. And your perseverance word is exactly the word that I used right at the beginning for you, Cristina. Indefatigability. Just that you just keep going. It's amazing. You're way beyond a Duracell buddy. I think you're a nuclear-powered entity. Cristina Irimie, thank you very much for joining us on PB Link Stories.
Thank you, Bill.
We have barely scratched the surface of what you have done and what you were doing, but we have no more time. But I'm uplifted and inspired by your words. To our listeners, be sure to subscribe to PB Link Stories for more, much more, even more, as we hunt down inspiring entrepreneurs to discover the secret of business.
Join us at our next event and engage with the business community.